One day, a woman who absolutely loved baked beans met a sweet gentleman and fell in love. When they decided to marry, she made the supreme sacrifice and gave up eating beans. Some months later, on her birthday, her car broke down on the way home from work. Since they lived in the country, she called her husband and told him she would be late because she had to walk home. On her way, she passed a small diner, and the scent of baked beans was more than she could stand. With a couple of miles to walk, she figured she'd walk off any ill effects by the time she got home. So she went into the diner for some baked beans. Before she knew it, she'd consumed 3 large orders of baked beans. But on the way home, she made sure she released all the gas. Upon her arrival, her husband was excited to see her and exclaimed delightedly, "Darling, I have a surprise for dinner tonight." He then blindfolded her and led her to her chair at the dinner table. She sat down, but just as he was about to remove the blindfold, the phone rang. He made her promise not to remove the blindfold until he returned and went to answer the call. The baked beans she'd eaten were still affecting her, and the pressure was becoming unbearable. So while her husband was out of the room, she shifted her weight to one leg. It was not only loud, it smelled like a fertilizer truck running over a skunk in front of a pulpwood mill. She took the napkin from her lap and fanned the air vigorously. Then, shifting to the other cheek, she ripped off 3 more. The stink was worse than cabbage. Keeping her ears carefully tuned to the conversation in the other room, she went on like this for another few minutes. The relief was indescribable. When she heard her husband say goodbye, she quickly fanned the air a few more times with her napkin, placed it on her lap, and folded her hands on it, feeling very pleased with herself. When her husband returned, apologizing for taking so long, he asked if she'd peeked through the blindfold, and she assured him she hadn't. He then carefully removed the blindfold, and 12 dinner guests seated around the table shouted, "Happy birthday!" She fainted.